Yeah, Kevin with Off the Top Barbecue back with another recipe. Today we'll be making my famous smoked oxtail recipe. I know oxtail is usually prepared as a stew or braised, which I'll be doing later on in the cook. But first, I want to start them by smoking them, which will add another layer of flavor as well as render some of that fat down. Most people don't know, but oxtails actually come from the tail of a cow. So first, what I want to do with this is cut a little bit of this fat off. You don't want to cut it all off because fat is flavored. So we'll start trimming it down a little bit. Make sure to save a little bit of that fat trimmings. The fat can be used for anything. You can use it as something that can, as a tallow. You can render it down to a tallow. You can also use it to season a pan. You can use it, you know, the possibilities are endless. And once again, fat is flavor, so don't get rid of that. Today I have about 4 pounds of oxtails, which I got at my local Walmart, but you can go to your local butcher shop or anywhere around you that sells meat. If you want to look closely, what they have is that vertebrae down the middle, which is actually the cartilage of the cow, and then all this around the outside is meat, and that's that part that you eat. So next, what I want to do is hit these oxtails with the binder. What the binder is going to do is allow that seasoning to stick, make that a lot more flavorful. What I'm using today as a binder is Worcestershire sauce, W sauce, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. And then what I'm seasoning with is the neighborhood seasoning, which is actually made by a good friend of mine. What I'll do, I'll leave the link in the description. It's great on chicken, it's great on beef, it's great on pork. What I love about it is that it has that little kick to it, and it also has a little bit of sweetness, so it's very versatile with whatever you want to cook. So now let's get to it. What I want to do is brush it with this W sauce, Worcestershire sauce. Like I said, you can call it what you want. Let's do it. And fun fact, what's crazy is oxtails seem to be the only thing going down in this age of inflation. I remember just about a couple months ago, it cost about $8.99 a pound. Now it's $6.99 a pound. So, you know, if you got a chance to get your hand on it, please do it. Let me get these brushed down with the Worcestershire, season them up. I'll be back with you shortly. Now that I got these oxtails seasoned up, wiped down with the Worcestershire sauce, W sauce, whatever I want, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, what I want to do next is get these on the grill. So follow me. Forgot to mention earlier that I was cooking these with a red oak, white oak, as well as a hickory pellet mixture, which I got from the RECTEQ website. It was a 40-pound bag, a good value as well. So once again, like I said, with these oxtails, what I'm doing with the smoke, I don't want them to cook all the way through. My whole purpose of putting them on the smoker is to get that nice dark mahogany color, as well as incorporate that smoke flavor. They've been on the grill for about 2 hours now. What I want to do is keep them at 300, give them about 30 more minutes, then I'll take them off and get them in that braising liquid that I'll show you how to make shortly. Now that these have been smoking for about 3 hours, they got that beautiful color that I'm looking for. What I'm going to do is take them off that grill, get them inside in that braising liquid, which I'll show you how to make shortly. All right, stay tuned. We're on to the next step. All right, so what I'm doing now is got my Dutch oven. What I'm gonna be doing is moving on to the braising liquid. So I already got a little bit of vegetable oil at the bottom. Just put a little more, just wanna coat it. So now I got my holy trinity. You know, you could call it that, you could call it Mirepoix, which is essentially onions, carrots, and shallots. So I wanna get those in there. You wanna hear a little sear. Add a little bit of salt and pepper and just let those go for about 30 seconds. You just want them to get nice and fragrant. I added garlic to it as well. It's a little salt and pepper, not too much. It already has flavor from the oxtails that I'll be throwing back in there. So yeah, I'll let these sear up. We'll be back with you shortly. All right, I'll let those vegetables cook down for about a minute, 2 minutes right now. Next, what I'm gonna do, they're nice and fragrant. So now what I'm gonna do is add about, I give that 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. You wanna just get that in there, mix it a little bit, just to break it down. Be adding that, stir it up. Don't want your pan on too hot, you know, it'll just burn everything in there. We're not looking to cook these vegetables. We're just looking to add a little flavor. You know, everything we're trying to do is just to enhance the flavor of it. So now that I let these go, about 30 minutes, the tomato paste is in there. I want to add my wine. What I'm doing with the wine is getting it a little bit, it's cooking off the alcohol. But the wine is going to add a great flavor to this. And with the wine, you want to add about I'd say a cup and a half. So just about that. Mix it. Let that alcohol cook out, or else it'll be a little too pungent and it'll have that alcohol flavor. Once you allow those vapors to get out of there, then it'll give it more of a deep flavor. And you know, that wine will add a lot of flavor to the end of it, especially once they braise in there. All right. So yeah, takes only about 30 seconds for that alcohol to cook out. Next, what I want to do is I'll be adding about 3 cups of beef broth. You can buy beef store bought. I just had some bouillon cubes, throwing them in some hot water and just let it mix up. So about 3 cups of that. Let that go for a little bit. As well as I'll add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to bring this up to a simmer, let all these things incorporate with each other, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, now that I let that braising liquid come up to a nice little gentle simmer, nice and hot, what I'm going to be doing is adding those oxtails that we smoked back into it. So just throw them back in, make sure they're nice and covered. You don't need them, you personally don't need them all the way covered. You just want them, you know, like you see here, just covering up most of it, get them back in there. And then now those are gonna fall in love with each other. That smoke, the braising liquid, and all that. So get those back in. So what we're gonna be doing is throwing them back on the smoker at 300 degrees. So I'm gonna keep it at 300. You know, if you don't have a smoker, what you can do, or if you don't want to use your smoker again, you can actually put them in your oven and put them back in at 300 degrees because they're already cooked, they're already smoked. I'm gonna put a lid on the Dutch oven, and it's not gonna add any more smoky flavor to it. So the cook is done. All I'm doing is breaking these down so that they're nice and tender. What I want to do is get them out there. I'll keep them cooking for about 2 hours, and then I'll check on them for tenderness. You want them to be tender enough to cut with a spoon. So I'm gonna put the lid on, and I'll be back when I check on them. All right, I've had these oxtails on the smoker for an additional 2 hours. Like I said, all I wanted to do is throw them on here to get that braising liquid and break them down. Now I'm going to check them for tenderness. And like I said earlier, what I'm checking for, make sure they're spoon tender. You should be able to put a spoon in it just like this. And if you see that meat falling off, they're perfect. So what I'm going to do is get them off the grill, bring them inside, and show them what we're doing next. Follow me. All right, so what I did is I pulled the oxtails off the smoker, brought them inside, pulled them out of that braising liquid, because what I want to do with the braising liquid next is separate those vegetables, because I'll be using that braising liquid as a sauce to pour over these oxtails. So yeah, you just don't want all that excess fat. Some of that fat renders down and drips into there, so you just want to separate it, and especially those vegetables as well. They're mush and won't add much more value to this cook. So yeah, got this. I'll let that strain for a little bit, and I'll be back with you and show you that next step. Yeah. Now that I separated that sauce, what I'm going to do is get these plated. What I have here is a bed of jasmine rice. We're just going to throw these right on top. A few of them. I'm going for the big juicy ones. Make it look good. Like that. You see that color? That's from the braising. That's from the smoke. It looks great. So what I want to do now is throw a little bit of that liquid that we separated. Pour it right over the top. Like so. I got a little bit of chives to garnish with as well. All right, now that I got these plated up, looking good, let's go in for what we all been waiting for. Got a little bit of the rice, a little bit of the oxtails. Let's give these a try. Yeah. Now that is golden. You get a little bit of that flavor from the red wine. You get the beef broth. All the flavors just seem to intertwine as well as with that smoke. This is a very simple and easy oxtails recipe. If you're nervous about trying oxtails or never had it before, please give this a try. Try to make it as seamless as possible for you. So let's just recap what we did today. So what we did is smoke these for about 3 hours. But first we seasoned it with the neighborhood seasoning, which is one of my great friends. I'll leave a link in the description. Seasoned them, wiped them down with Worcestershire, W sauce, whatever you want to call it. Then after that, I got them on the smoker for 3 hours at 300 degrees until they had that nice mahogany color that I was looking for. Then after that, brought them back inside, mixed them with that braising liquid, which I use red wine, beef broth, as well as a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. And I'll have the full link in the description. Like I said, never try oxtails. Go down to your local supermarket as well as you can get them at your local butcher shop. Give this recipe a try. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Yeah, we'll see you next time.